Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Oilersnation After Dark, presented by Boston Pizza. Look at that nice little intro we had there. Shout out to Boston Pizza. They've been a sponsor for a while. Hopping on now as our title sponsor. And like we've told you before, you got to check out their new Fanalytics menu for the playoff menu. They got some great stuff there. The Winger Ribs, the Pizza Flight, 3 6-inch pizzas of your choice, garlic parmesan fries, as well as the triple play that's Bandera bread, Thai bites, and cactus cup potatoes. Sounds like heaven. Again, shout out to Boston Pizza. Connor Halley here on Oilersnation After Dark, presented by Boston Pizza. We've got Zach Lang and producer Liam on with me tonight as we're recapping the Oilers' 6-4 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 1 of their second-round series from Sin City. Lots to get into. There was some really good that came out of tonight's game. There was some bad, and there was a lot of questions, and we'll talk about it, and we'll get your general thoughts on the game. How are you feeling after that one? Is there nervousness creeping in? I know that we're kind of used to Oilers losing the first game of every best-of-7 series. Kind of been their calling card as of late. Vegas was doing that same sort of thing previously. For the Edmonton Oilers now dig themselves in a little bit of a hole, but we'll see how they bounce back. Shout out to everyone in the chat right now. I see the conversation. A lot of optimism on YouTube, Facebook as well. Jaden, Steve, Bob, Brandon. We've got Dell, Nick, Jennifer. I see Tyler, Jessica, Jess. 2 different people, similar names, but a lot of people optimistic on YouTube. Genesis, we've got Oilers Boy 08, MM Terry, Darian, Katie, Chris, Rusty, Kyle, Curtis, all the usuals. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button before we get going here. That helps us out a lot. Right now, we'll get to the good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance. The Good, the Bad, the Oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance, Edmonton's premier boutique insurance brokerage with over 90 years of success and still growing. Visit cornerstoneins.ca/nation to get an online tenant or condo insurance quote in just a few minutes and use discount code NATION for an exclusive rate. Find out why Cornerstone Insurance brokers are ranked amongst the best in Alberta. And for the Good, the Bad, the Oily, I think we're going to be bringing in Zach Lang of Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff. I believe that's the... Yeah, Zach, hey, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Connor, I'm doing all right, man. It's a little disappointing. It's a little frustrating to see him drop a Game 1. But you know what? If there's anything that we've learned from this Edmonton Oilers team in the last number of years, it's just the fact that they just don't know how to play in Game 1s. I mean, what can you do? It sucks, but it is what it is, right? A great performance from Draisaitl tonight, but lots of runway left here, folks.
100%. Yeah, it started off like they knew exactly what they were doing. Power play, goal, things were looking good. Wheels fell off pretty quickly, and then they were chasing the rest of the game. We'll start off with the good, as we like to do here on The Good, the Bad, the Oily, presented by Cornerstone Insurance. And the good tonight, I think we probably have to go with Leon Draisaitl. Just makes too much sense. 4 goals on the night. I was just kind of looking into it here. So now he's up to 11 playoff goals so far. That's in 7 games. Second place, Mikko Rantanen has 7. We've got Kreider from the Rangers at 6, and then Montour at 6 as well. Montour being the only one who's still in the playoffs. So Leon Draisaitl has 11. He's way up on the rest. And going back to last year's Stanley Cup playoffs, the leader was Evander Kane and Nathan MacKinnon, who had 13 goals. Leon Draisaitl had 11 already. So Leon Draisaitl, 4 goals tonight, doing quite well.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He's been absolutely dynamic to start these playoffs here. Really impressive to see him scoring goals the way that he is, right? He got the old Joe Thornton, the rooster trick tonight. I mean, kind of interesting, right? I mean, even if you look at, the Seattle and the Dallas series kicked off last night, Joe Pavelski a 4-goal performance of his own. So something in the air in these playoffs here so far. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to complain with that performance from Draisaitl whatsoever. I think if there's anything you can kind of take away from it, maybe it's the fact that, the Oilers support guys still need to be doing more, right? Hyman, I thought, was a little quiet again tonight. Nuge was quiet again tonight. Vander Kane was quiet again tonight. Draisaitl and McDavid can't do it all on their own, right? And, these are the guys that we really need to see stepping up here in the playoffs, much like they kind of did last year, especially in that series against Calgary.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We'll just throw it out there before we get to the bad, because the bad is not this. But, oh my goodness, the chat is going crazy right now. I don't know if we'll be able to keep up on Facebook. I got some paragraphs coming in here. But you had Warren Full, Kyler Yamamoto, Ryan McLeod, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with 0 shots on the game. Evander Kane only had 1. Yeah, and Mark had 1 in 4 minutes of play, obviously left with the injury, and then Klim Kostin in 9 minutes only got a shot. So obviously they got to find ways to funnel more pucks on net. The first 2 periods, only 15 shots. In the third period, they did get to 12, but it did seem like a lot of passengers tonight in this one. Okay, with the good comes the bad. The bad on tonight, we're going to go with quick goals allowed. And just going back to the Oilers, finding their way back into games. Obviously, Leon Draisaitl gets the scoring going. It only took, I believe, 40 seconds for Bouchard to get on the board, made it a 1-1 game, so a very short-lived lead. And then Leon Draisaitl scoring to get the Oilers back within the tie there, I believe, right into it. And then Bouchard again, 61 seconds later. I think there are going to be some fingers being pointed. The Barbashev goal, I think a lot of people were looking at Vinny Desharnais, a couple tough goals people might put on his plate. But, you just got to bounce back stronger after scoring a goal. You can't allow a team to get right back into it a minute later.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's been an issue that we've seen plague this team in the past as well, right? This isn't just a new problem here, seeing the Oilers allowing goals, in short order after scoring them. It's frustrating to watch, right? Because you're finally especially the fourth goal, I believe it was there, where you tie it up so early on in that third period, right? And then to have Vegas go down the other way and score immediately, like it just totally you could just feel the deflation right away, right? It's something that they're going to have to clean up here in short order, right? This is a good Vegas team here. The Oilers are going up against
100%. Very good team. Lots of things you could give them their praise for, but we'll do that later on maybe. The Oily tonight. We've got to get the Oily in here, and then we'll bring in Liam. Losing game 1. And, there's that sign, I think it's on one of the buildings downtown, Zach. It's like taking risks, the most Edmonton thing you can do. I think that's what it is. Don't quote me, but losing game 1, the most Oilers thing you can do, because they come out and they seem to just struggle every series in game 1. The good news is they have bounced back on plenty of occasions, but never good to put yourself in that hole.
Hey, you know what? It kind of reminds me of the series against Calgary last year, right? Where, the Oilers lost that game pretty handedly, but the Oilers had their moments in that game where they found offense. They found ways to score and to generate, right? Now, of course, what was it? I believe 2 of those Draisaitl goals were on the power play here tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, they were. Obviously it's great to see the power play continuing to click, and you want to start to see some more of those kind of going in 5-on-5. If I'm not mistaken, too, wasn't it something like that in the series against Calgary in game 1 last year too, where a couple of the Oilers goals did come on the power play, and we're kind of like, oh, okay, well, let's see what happens here, right? But I think at the end of the day, it's good to see that offense is being created here for this Oilers team. And yeah, the game 1 curse is very, very real. Let's hope it doesn't take 19 years for the Oilers to break it, unlike the Leafs and their first round playoff curse.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, we got a lot of trouble. I'm just going to quickly bring it up here. So the Oilers, yes, game 1 in the second round, it was a 9-6 loss, 3 in the box score. I don't see any power play goals right now, but ESPN's a little different to navigate. So I'll find that one out for you here at some point. But we'll bring in Liam, the producer, tonight. Liam, great job so far, keeping us on track. And I'll throw this question out to both of you once Liam gets in here. Zach, we can ask you first. Good evening, Liam. Thank you. We're seeing it a little bit here on the chat, and a lot of people talking about sitting Vincent Desharnais. 2 goals, like I said, you could probably put on his plate. At times it looks like, perhaps foot speed decision-making might become an issue. Maybe he just has to make that simpler play, get glass and out. Everyone in the chat, let us know. Would you go back to Big Vin on Saturday, or do you think the press box could help him? Zach, what do you think?
Well, knowing Jay Woodcroft, he's going to go back to him, right? I mean, this is exactly what happened in the first round with not only Desharnais and but also with Yamamoto, right? However, I'm not entirely sure if I fully am in agreement with that one right now. You go back and I'm just watching again, the first goal of the game, for the Golden Knights, and I don't know why, Desharnais tried to force it there when he could have taken it along the boards instead of trying to make that play right out towards the front of the net, right? The way I look at it, is this as well, right? Philip Broberg sitting there on the bench. Philip Broberg is an excellent skater. He can use his boots to get out of trouble, right? This is one of the big strengths in his game. And I'm already seeing, my an Oilers Nation colleague, Bruce Kurlock, talking about that, on Twitter tonight. And that could very well be the right move, come Saturday night. The Oilers are going to have a lot of time to digest this one. Coaching staff's going to have a lot of time to make some decisions. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Liam, what do you think?
Yeah, I honestly think Zach's probably in the right track there, especially with Janmark going down now to what are you going to do, bring in Derek Ryan and Devon Shore? Like, it just doesn't seem like something Jay Woodcroft is going to do at this time. So I could see him going back to 11-7, but I would like to see Philip Broberg playing a little bit more too. I mean, we talked about all week building up to this game how the speed of the Golden Knights is something that is going to be an issue for guys like Desharnais, and evidently it was tonight, and he wasn't very good again. And he has these moments, right? It's just unfortunate that every time he makes a mistake, it seems to be absolutely costly and just ends the world for the Edmonton Oilers. So I'm not sure what else the coaching staff can really do with him at the moment. I think just sitting him down, and I think he had a great interview with Gregor the other day, right, Connor? You would have been on there where he talked about like what he did after that game, and he seemed to reset a little bit, but you don't want to come into this issue every 3 games in a playoffs.
Yeah, he said he found a empty room, let out some anger, and then Ekholm came and chatted with him and said, we're going to need you going forward. Shake it off, move on. You belong here. And that went a long way for him. And he was not benched the following game. Vinny Desharnais tonight, when it comes to defensemen, he played the least amount, 8-19. Was still out there for 2 minutes, 3 seconds on the penalty kill. That was the second most behind Darnell Nurse. That was just a couple seconds more than Matthias Ekholm. So, he is still part of that penalty kill, and I think they like his toughness and the physicality, but we are seeing it against the tougher competition where there are points where it might look like, I don't want to say it's too much for him, but there's just mistakes being made, and you get the feeling that he's going to bounce back. Accordingly, also some questions here about the goaltending. Zach, Stuart Skinner tonight, 28 saves on 33 shot attempts, 840 save percentage. On the flip side, Laurent Brossoit had a save percentage of 852. Jack Campbell's being thrown out there in the chat. So I got to ask, Zach, any chance you go to him?
No.
Liam?
I mean, I felt like tonight was Stuart Skinner's best game. Am I absolutely wild to say that? Like, I thought he actually made a ton of huge saves for the team for the first time in this, probably the playoffs, to be fair. Like, the Oilers gave up a ton of grade A chances. So, no, I wouldn't go to Jack Campbell. I believe in Stu.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, and I think that's the way Jay Woodcroft's going to go. I just had to throw it out there. It was in the chat. We can squash that right now. I'm sure someone's going to hop in later and bring it up, but we'll squash that one right now. Matthias Janmark, around the 3-minute mark of the first period, had kind of a scary incident, went into the boards, got up. He was helped off the ice, but he did not return. So, we'll see what happens. We don't want to speculate too much, but it looks like Derek Ryan might jump back into the lineup. And Liam, that was a good point. If you're going to take out one of your defensemen, then you're putting Devon Shore in there. Maybe Devon Shore would come out there and, score a couple goals, but we'll see what happens with that one. We talk about the officiating in this one, and it kind of gets brought up occasionally. Zach, I don't know if there was anything that you saw in that game that was, horribly missed calls. I thought the Hyman call was a little bit soft. I don't think Hyman did that intentionally. The interference, the Eichel and Kane 2-for-1, taking them both off was a little shady because I don't think they were giving Kane that penalty at first. And then after the fact, it seemed like it was added on. What did you guys make of the stripes tonight? Starting with, we'll start with you, Zach.
Yeah, the Kane Eichel one is exactly the one that I was going to mention, right? Because he gives him just a little tap in the back, and Eichel falls down, and then Kane picks up the puck right away. If you were going to be calling Kane for a penalty there, the puck should have been blown dead before Eichel had tripped him, right? Then all of a sudden Eichel trips him, and now it's like, yeah, by the way, we're also giving Kane a penalty. No, I'm not entirely sure that's how it works there, but nice try pulling a fast one there, boys. I thought, there was some rough calls in this game. John McIsaac and Kyle Raymond had a bit of a tough one out there tonight, I think. It's just something we're continuing to see in these playoffs is some really shoddy officiating. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that it had any sort of impact on the game. because it really didn't. It's definitely not like Game 4 back in LA where there was these horrendous calls being missed. So it didn't really impact the game here, but yeah, there was most definitely some moments where it's kind of like, I don't know about that one.
Liam, any concerns there?
I'm not I don't think they ran the game like we saw in games against the LA Kings, but I agree with Zach with what he said about the Evander Kane penalty. I always find that one very funny when conveniently the second guy gets called too, but he's like, well, how does he get called if he's already getting called? Like, it's just kind of a weird little thing that happens, but that was weird. Also, the Hyman one just kind of felt like reactionary by Hyman. Be like, oh, like someone's there. So when you get spooked, right? You like jump a little bit. That's kind of what it felt like with Hyman then. Also on that penalty kill, Ryan McLeod got absolutely taken out by Jack Eichel in what was also just coincidental contact, but also interference. So like I wasn't like overly upset with what the officials did, but it was just like, okay, well if you call it that, why are you not calling that? It's kind of a weird one, but I don't think they were as bad as what we've seen so far, which isn't a very high bar to be fair.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I saw that collision there on the power play, and I thought, well, if you're going to call one, but I guess that one, it was like totally coincidental. No, I don't know who you'd throw it on. You probably could just agree that none of them deserved a penalty. Maybe like the Zach Hyman one, and a lot of people in the chat saying, yeah, not the ref. Refs were fine tonight. We can hope that continues. Final Buzzer says, scratch Leon. He should have scored 5. Yeah, Leon Draisaitl, 4 goals tonight. He and Pavelski doing it for their teams. Weirdly, both their teams losing, which is crazy when you think a guy scores 4 goals. You think that's going to be an automatic win night, but not the case. Quickly here, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Wilhauk Beef Jerky, Alberta's best beef jerky. You can find them at one of their 3 locations in West Edmonton Mall, Leduc, or Spruce Grove, and find out more at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Want to look at the power plays here with the penalty kill, I guess, for the Vegas Golden Knights are going up against the Oilers. The Oilers pretty good, and I thought that second power play the Oilers had was a little bit sloppy, but Leon Draisaitl gets a goal late to kind of make it work. On the flip side, though, for Vegas, 2 for 4 on the power play. Liam, what do you think of the Oilers penalty kill? Maybe just special teams as a whole tonight.
Well, the power play did what it was supposed to go out there and do, and against a penalty kill that has been weak on the Vegas Golden Knights, so they capitalize on their opportunities when they get them, and of course, Vegas being the least penalized team in the NHL, so it's not as easy as it seems to get power plays against them. But they took what they got tonight. And the penalty kill, like, how many power play goals did Vegas get?
2 for 4 tonight.
2 for 4. I mean, it's kind of what they shoot at all season anyway, isn't it? I mean, Janmark is a good penalty killer for this team. I know Desharnais is in a bad stretch at the moment, but he has played a key role on this penalty kill, and I think the Oilers now have maybe got to regroup a little bit, because I think we saw it a little bit in the last couple of games against the LA Kings too, where they were leaking a few more power play goals and try and get back into the rhythm. But man, their penalty kill is hot and cold. It'll go games without allowing one, and it'll go games without allowing 4 a night. So it's kind of just the recipe for Edmonton Oilers hockey, if you ask me.
And we should clarify, Jack Eichel's goal was on the power play. So If you want to say 2 for 4 at 50% or 1 for 3 at 33.333%, then, pick your poison. I don't know if we need to hold the last one against them. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Zach, thoughts on the power play, penalty kill, special teams as a whole?
Yeah, great to see the power play continuing to click. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, and I think it's it's going to be a big story for this team through the rest of the playoffs this year, right? Best power play of all time in the regular season, very much well on pace for the best power play all time in the playoffs as well here, right? So they're going to continue to do their thing, and I thought the penalty kill was okay tonight. Vegas, they got the one on there. Mark Stone with the nice little deflection in front. That was another tough one on Vincent Desharnais, I think, too, right? He kind of went to play the man that was a little bit higher in the slot and left Stone sort of all alone there, right? So it's a tough spot that the Oilers could find themselves in. Yeah, I guess Desharnais is a good penalty killer. I'm not entirely sure that I see it as much as some other people maybe see it. It'd probably have to rely on Darnell Nurse and Matthias Ekholm, Cody Ceci a little bit more if they were to pull Desharnais out for Broberg. But yeah, kind of status quo it sort of felt like on the special teams.
It is funny. We are seeing people kind of pop up sporadically here and say, give Jack Campbell a chance. Someone said, why do people hate Jack Campbell? I mean, I don't want us to give the impression we hate Jack Campbell. That's a strong word. I think we just kind of said that Stuart Skinner, I mean, he made a few big saves tonight. There is a couple he wants back for sure, but, a couple big saves, off just kind of egregious defensive plays where he kept them in it. So, yeah, I don't think anyone's hating on Jack Campbell. I don't think Jay Woodcroft's going to go to Jack Campbell, so we're just sharing our thoughts. You'll see what happens in the next couple of days here, as will we, between the pipes for the Oilers. What do you guys think, Zach? I think passengers is kind of a key word here tonight. A lot of guys not really doing a whole lot. Kind of worries me that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins didn't register a shot tonight, even on the power play. You'd love to get him to find a way to get a shot through. What's going on with Nuge? Is it as easy as saying he's playing second line without McDavid or Draisaitl, or is there more to it?
That's a great question. I mean, there's kind of a couple ways to look at it, I suppose, right? I'm almost starting to wonder if something got nicked up a little bit towards the end of the season, or early on in the series against LA that we're just not hearing about, because he doesn't really look like himself from this season, right? I think Zach Hyman is another guy kind of in a similar boat right now. Although I did think he did some work, some nice work down low there, helping to set up Draisaitl for his third goal of the night. It's weird. It's a really weird spot to kind of see these guys having such great regular seasons, and then kind of drifting away in the playoffs here so far.
Liam, any thoughts on those two guys, or anyone else you think that needs to kind of pick up their play for the Oilers to find a way to get back into this on Saturday?
I don't want to pick on Nuge too much, but I'm kind of with Zach a little bit too. I wonder if something did happen to him, because, man, it has been, 7 games, and he's been pretty irrelevant for 7 straight, and that is extremely alarming for a player that had 100 points this season. And he's got to figure it out, to be honest, because he was invisible. He's been invisible, and the Oilers need him badly. 2 other guys, I guess, I would like to see more from Warren Foegele and Ryan McLeod to actually score goals. They have been very, very good. Their play away from scoring goals has been pretty effective, but Klim Kostin and Yamamoto have chipped in with 2 big goals in their own right, yet Klim Kostin with 3 big goals in this series. And those 2 guys, yes, they're playing very well and creating plays and generating, but at the end of the day, the point is to score goals. And if you're not scoring goals, how massively is your contribution if you're a forward in that aspect of things, right? So I'd like to see more out of the bottom guys of Foegele and McLeod outside of NugentHopkins.
Totally fair. And then, I like McLeod and Foegele as well. Guys who, could they chip in 100%? They've had opportunities, and especially in a game like tonight, the empty netter for sure, but it was a 1-goal game. And you look at 3 of the 4 meetings of this regular season matchups between the Oilers and the Golden Knights were 1-goal games. So, it's going to be tight. You need that depth scoring once again. Hopefully the Oilers can find it. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, as you guys touched on, 4 assists in the first series. That's all he had, no goals as of yet. I want to give a quick shout out to everyone who watched the Oilers Nation playoff party down at Greta tonight. Of course, our guy Aaron Bordado hosting, doing a great job. You can grab some Oilers Nation gear from the pop-up shop. I've got my shirt back. It made its way. It's kind of blocked there, but you can grab that shirt for just $35 at the pop-up party there. And if you don't get out to the party and you want to order a shirt, still nationgear.ca is the best way to do that. Check them out on social media, find one you like and place your order. But if you do want to go out Saturday, and it's probably going to be a blast, I don't have to tell you guys that watching hockey on a Saturday at 5:00, the game ends and you can still party regardless of what happens. Make your reservations at gretabar.com/book or text 587-418-8507. Also, a prize is a whole lot of fun, and Greta's a great place to watch the game, have a couple of drinks, have a bite to eat, and hopefully get the Oilers back on track for a couple wins here. Liam, you get out to the watch party yet?
I was there on Saturday, and vibes were very good. Food was fantastic at Greta, and the best part about going to Greta to watch the games is just obviously the vibe in general, but when the Oilers score, I think I hugged 4 or 5 people who I've never seen in my entire life and probably will never see again. So if you're into that kind of stuff, Greta might be the place for you. And great drinks.
That's key. Good or bad, you gotta have a couple drinks and either keep the party going or drown the sorrows, whatever it might be. Zach, you get out to a watch party yet?
No, I haven't. I'm trying to contemplate when I'm going to try and get out to one. Maybe a little bit later on in this series here, but I'm pretty busy with crushing content here for the website and getting all the clips and stuff like that up online. So that's kind of a little bit more of my domain, but I'm going to have to let the hair down here one of these games for sure.
Someone's got to do it. Jane on Facebook says, "Is Janmark out now?" I would say safe to assume. I mean, we're not going to know. And if you've ever watched Jay Woodcroft's pregame scrums with the media, he'll say, "We'll see who comes out." So you kind of have to follow the guys who are down there, Rashog, any of the broadcast team, Michaels, Bob, Nugent Bowman. See what they say on Twitter, see who's practicing, and go from there, because Jay Woodcroft probably won't say a whole lot. Laurie says Leon was on fire, 100%, 4 goals. He's up to 11 in the playoffs now. Next closest, Rantanen, who will not be playing any more games. So, he's not going to catch Leon Draisaitl. He was phenomenal. McDavid had a couple assists. Evan Bouchard, 2 more assists as well. That puts him up to 12. So he just continues his fantastic start to the playoffs. I saw a stat that came up when it comes to defensemen. Point streaks in the playoffs to start the playoffs. Put him in the category of Doug Wilson, Chris Pronger, Adam Fox right now. 7 straight games with a point. And if he can just go for 7 more, he'll catch Bobby Orr at 14. So let's hope this keeps on going and he keeps up these points. But fantastic start for Evan Bouchard in these playoffs. Liam, I mean, confidence is one thing that I've said a few times. Is it as simple as that for Evan Bouchard, that he's just playing with a little more confidence? Like, what's gone right for him since the deadline?
Yeah, I think it is a confidence thing, and he's just playing so freely and whenever he has the puck, right? That seems to be his big thing, and obviously being on the power play is a massive help. But he's not just on the power play to be the 5th man. Like, he's probably the 3rd most important player on that power play, and like, maybe it's crazy to say, but he might even be the 2nd most important player on that power play, because if he doesn't kind of generate everything with McDavid, then Draisaitl's not getting the puck to finish it off. So, yeah, I just think it's – you kind of seeing what the Oilers drafted, right, when he was the 10th overall pick, however long ago that was, right? He was supposed to be this offensive juggernaut of a defenseman, and I think this is what we're getting out of him now, which is fantastic to see. And the sky really feels like the limit for this guy, and I got a feeling he's going to get a nice little paycheck one of these days.
That's a topic, a can of worms. I don't know if we should open up right now. Maybe in a couple days we'll get into that one. On Facebook, Maggie says, Oilers got next game. Congrats, Dry, on 4 goals. You rock. Yeah, there's a lot of optimism right now on Facebook and on YouTube in the chat. A lot of people saying it's game 1. We'll bounce back in game 2. I feel like the Oilers will probably find a way, but we shall see. Daniel Nugent Bowman of The Athletic has tweeted out, Jay Woodcroft said Derek Ryan missed the game due to illness, and no update on Matthias Janmark, as we know. So he says he'll have something in the morning. I don't think he'll give a whole lot. Zach, I mean, obviously tough one for Derek Ryan to miss the game due to illness, and then what happened with Matthias Janmark. But I guess confident in both those guys, whoever it might be on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see the way they kind of go out there and deploy these lines as well. I'm really fascinated to see what they kind of cook up with, right? Does Darnay jump out of the lineup? Does Broberg slide in? What about a guy like Dylan Holloway? Does he maybe get a look here in some games, right? He played some NHL minutes, a lot of NHL minutes, really, at the start of this season, and then he went down to Bakersfield. Unfortunately, got hurt in his first game, and then it was a bit of a slog for him getting back into games from there. But he looked good at the end of the season, so he's got to feel good about where his game's at right now. Does a guy like Devin Shore maybe slide in the lineup? Liam, I know you'd love to see that, right? A guy could bring a little bit of energy, hopefully down there in a depth role, right? But yeah, it was interesting to see. I mean, with Janmark leaving the game so early, I think it really made things tough. I was looking at some of the underlying numbers for this game. At 5-on-5, Hyman, McDavid, and Draisaitl played 10 minutes together. Then the next most common line at 5-on-5 was Evander Kane, NugentHopkins, Yamamoto at 4:37, and then every other iteration of a line played under 3.5 minutes together throughout the course of that game. So, it's really, really hard. It's more difficult, I suppose, when you have 11 forwards. But when you go down to 10 forwards like that, I mean, it makes it really difficult on a lot of these players.
Stats powered by Fanalytics, by the way.
Was that Fanalytics right there, Zach?
Yep.
The little teaser, right? It was kind of like me being like, hey, I kind of got a little bit of analytics for you guys. And then it could throw back to you, Connor, and be like, oh, this is the perfect time to segue. Zach, do you have any more analytics that we could talk about? Yes.
Quickly, I just want to say, Rusty, the Reckless Optimist says, I'm not sure if Connor is reading the chat, LOL. I'm not seeing a lot of optimism, seeing sad fans, which is understandable. Guess we got to ride the emotional roller coaster. Rusty, like I have a filter. I don't see the negative. I only see the positive. You got to get that. Me and you, we're going to be optimistic here, or let's find a way to come back. All right, now,
I got some optimism for you, Connor.
Do it.
You want to hear it? The Oilers were shit tonight, and the Vegas Golden Knights might have played their best game of the series in Game 1. So the only way is up for the Oilers boys from here. There you go, chat.
There it is. That's it. All right, Zach. Okay, we teased it. Let's get them some stats powered by Boston Pizza Fanalytics. You can visit any Boston Pizza. Check out their new Fanalytics menu, including new items powered by Fanalytics. I've talked about the pizza flight, which I think is just a genius idea. But then I kept on scrolling. The triple play, Bandera bread, Thai bites, and cactus cut. That's like the dream there of appetizers for me. So check out Boston Pizza and their new menu. Also, great beer on tap. Zach, let's get some Fanalytics.
Yeah, there's a couple things that jumped out to me tonight, Connor. Looking at the underlying numbers, the Oilers controlled the pace of play at 5-on-5. They controlled 56% of the shot attempt share, as well as 56% of the scoring chances. An interesting thing, however, is that they did not do very well in terms of expected goal share. So for those of you wondering, expected goal share really talks about shot quality. So the higher expected goal share you have, the more likely the puck's going to be going in the net. For the Oilers, they had 1.88 expected goals at 5-on-5. They scored 2 real goals at 5-on-5. However, with Vegas, they had 2.28 expected goals at 5-on-5 and actually scored 4. So to me, that says that there's a little bit of puck luck that came the way of the Vegas Golden Knights tonight, especially at 5-on-5. So, it's going to be interesting to see if that continues in Game 2, if that dissipates a little bit. One thing we know is that, the expected goal numbers and the actual goal numbers do tend to balance out over time. So those are kind of a couple of things that jumped out to me here as well. One other thing too, I talked briefly there about that Oilers forward line of Zach Hyman, Leon Draisaitl, and Connor McDavid playing together. They had 10 minutes and 21 seconds at 5-on-5, 64% shot share control. They outscored Vegas 2-0 and controlled 65% of the expected goal share. So a lot to like from that line tonight, who was far and away the Oilers' best line this evening.
There you go. That's legit Fanalytics, better than any I've provided. Zach Lane crushing it. Boston Pizza providing the Fanalytics right there. Shout out to BPs. If you guys notice, bots are getting really good on Twitter and really personal. Have you guys noticed that at all?
No, I've not experienced that yet.
I just got a tweet from a fake account saying, yes, Darnay deserves all the happiness in the world. See my homepage, please. Personalized Darnay deserves all the happiness. I'm not making that up. It's from a tweet I tweeted out like last month. So it's wild. But yes, Darnay does deserve happiness. A couple guys who are happy tonight, maybe not with the result, but the experience that they went on. I got to think Tyler Yaremchuk, Bag Milk, and I believe Jay went on the trip with those guys as well down to Vegas. An experience powered by AMA Travel. If you're looking to do anything, make sure you check out AMA Travel.ca. You can get the best deals on your next vacation. Fill out a quiz to get trips tailored just for you. They've got it all. They've got sales on travel, insurance, cruises, vacation packages, guided tours, coach tours, not couch tours. That would be useless. You can save on hotels, car rental, attractions, and tickets and luggage, accessories, all of that stuff. AMA Travel. What do you guys think the boys are up to tonight after that disappointing performance, Zach?
Oh, the boys are at the roulette table right about now. Maybe throwing a couple of craps down there. Tyler, I know he's a bit of a blackjack guy. Maybe he tries his luck there, sees if he can get a little bit hot there. So yeah, those guys will be getting in one tonight. That's for sure.
Is there any chance they hit up the Cantina, Liam?
Oh yeah, Taco Bell Cantina for sure. Maybe try and find a little PF Chang's on the way as well.
Yep, right next door, actually, I believe now PF Chang's is.
There you go.
So, yeah, I think they'll be there. They are staying at the Excalibur, though, so it's a bit of a walk for them. But Bag Milk told me earlier today it was a 20-minute walk from the Excalibur to Taco Bell. But I had a feeling they'll be mixing it in. I know 2 places they will be at for sure tonight, though. Number 1, the craps table. Bag milk went on an absolute heater when we were in Vegas there for the vacation, thanks to AMA Travel. Number 2, Jay will find his way to the ponies at some point at the MGM Grand. That is 2 places. If you're looking for the Oily Boys tonight, they will be there. That's where you'll find them.
And they are there in Vegas with the help of AMA Travel. Check them out. A little out-of-town scoreboard for you as well. If you're wondering, the Carolina Hurricanes knocked off the Devils 5-1 tonight to take a 1-0 series lead in their series. Tomorrow, you got the Leafs and Panthers. Game 2, Florida up 1-0. That's a 5 o'clock, so 5:20 puck drop. And then Seattle will take on Dallas at 7:30, so 7:50. And Seattle leads that series 1-0. For those, who aren't in Vegas and are in Edmonton or the surrounding area, can't get the cantina, but you can go to Oodle Noodle tomorrow, pick up some noodles, have a great lunch, and grab an Oilers Nation sticker while you're at it. That's every Oodle Noodle location in the city, and I believe surrounding area, but don't quote me on that. Let's just say in the city. If you live in Leduc, come into Edmonton, grab some Oodle Noodle and some stickers. Here is the hottest take of them all. This is on Facebook. I'm not going to say your last name because I don't want people to come after you, Ryan. Connor was the worst player on the ice, Vinny not included. Zach, hottest take we've seen tonight?
Yeah, that one's red hot. That one's really hot. That's a really hot take right there.
Yeah, that's a steamer. I wish I had my buttons that I use for Owen off hot and cold performers, because I would have used them all for the hot one there. Worst player. What game were you watching? Did nobody see the assist that McDavid had on Draisaitl's 4th goal, where he dropped past it like halfway across the ice with the backhand? Like, holy moly! What more do you want from this guy?
Maybe this guy was watching the game through the radio tonight.
Oh my goodness,
That could be it. I thought he was flying out there. I mean, credit to Vegas, did a good job defending him at times, but I thought he was absolutely flying. Ravina says, "What? Connor worst? Maybe a troll. It might be a troll." Ryan, let us know. Maybe there's more to it, but yeah, I thought he was pretty good. Yeah, maybe you want to see him shoot a little bit more off that left kind of wing on the power play. He scored a couple goals last series. I'd love to see him do that again, but by no means was he the worst in the series. Just checking out the chat here, Ravina. They're going to hit the crap table at 1 a.m. or so. That's possible. Sebastian is just hammering the chat with the barrel of oil emoji. Yeah, if you're in there, just hit the oil emoji right now and light it up. We'll see if I'm going to try to find that. I can do that as we go on here. But yeah, a lot of sarcasm going on tonight. Shred Before Dad says Connor did have a lot of giveaways tonight and didn't shoot enough. But worst? No. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's ever been a game where he's been the worst player on the ice. It just doesn't seem like that's possible.
Get benched tonight on the Oilers? Like, never mind. Like, this is an absolute rabbit hole we're diving ourselves into. But boy, oh boy, is that the term? Rabbit hole, wormhole? Just we're jumping into a hole.
Rabbit hole definitely works. Wormhole, I'm not going to hold it against you if you want to go with that one. Finally found the oil emoji. I'm just firing it up. Just me and Sebastian. Nobody else is getting into that one as of yet, but that's okay. All right, guys. So before we wrap this one up, why don't we make a couple of picks for Betway? Of course, if you want to have a little bit of fun, throw some money down with Betway. Make sure you're 19 plus, and make sure you do so responsibly, as the graphic says down there. Betway's up there. Awesome. Okay, Liam, give us one score prediction and a Betway pick as well for the game on Saturday, Game 2, 5 o'clock puck drop.
6-3 Edmonton Oilers. Leon Draisaitl bears another 2. I'm gonna stick by our boy Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Gets his first goal of the playoffs on the power play in his traditional fashion. That was me shooting like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, by the way.
Sneaky shot, opportunistic. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 4-2 Oilers victory. Nice bounce back game in Game 2, like the Oilers always seem to do. Going to be interested to see what happens again. I'm really curious with the lines and how they're going to be. I think for my bet, I'm going to stick with Leon Draisaitl to continue scoring goals. I'm going to go with Draisaitl to score 2+ goals.
I like it. Liam, what was your score?
6-3.
And you had 4-1, Zach?
4-2.
4-2. Okay, I'm going to find a nice little sweet spot in there. I'll say 5-3. My pen doesn't work. And I don't know. Well, I'm going to say Derek Ryan gets in there, and he gets a clutch goal. I don't know if you can actually put money on that one, but DR, the man with 2 names, 1 goal, and it's going to be a big one. Maybe the game winner even. The chat's still going here. We've got Angel, the Kings fan. Shout out to Angel for still hanging around. Angel, you just want to, if it goes bad, do you just want to chirp? Because that would be fair. I'm sure you took a lot of it last time, game 7. Game 6. Come on, Connor. He says, Connor, the problem is directly after the Oilers power play, they get outplayed and make mistakes. Kings took advantage of this as well. My first thought when Darnay coughed that puck up after, I was thinking, do you have to go with him? I mean, could you go with maybe someone a little more stable immediately following the goal? Maybe I'm out to lunch here. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to see some more stability from this team as a whole, I think, right? Again, just talking about those quick goals after the Oilers managed to score, right? Something they got to clean up here. It's definitely become an issue, and I think a guy like Darnay has been exposed in these playoffs.
Yeah, it's funny. I thought the exact same thing when Darnay was on the ice before the puck even went in. I was like, why is he the one that's starting right after? I think he's capable of obviously being a good defenseman at times, but he's struggled as of late. You just got a bit of momentum. Try and calm things down a little bit and keep it going in your favor, and then lo and behold, the puck ends up in the back of your net off an avoidable mistake.
I have a really hard time with Darnay because I think there's room for big and strong defensemen like him in the NHL, but he's very clearly a step behind in these playoffs right now. You have a guy like Philip Broberg sitting there on your bench right there. He was an 8th overall draft pick. He's a guy that this franchise has stood beside, tooth and nail up till this point, right? Given the rumors that, we've seen in the last calendar year, yet they're continuously playing a 26-year-old kind of journeyman over top of Broberg, who actually can bring a better element that fits the Edmonton Oilers style of play. The Oilers style of play is a fast-paced type of hockey game. All the players on this team need to skate well. You look at the Oilers defensemen, pretty much all of them are good skaters, except for really Vincent Darnay. It's nothing personal against the guy here, but I really think you got to pull him out of the lineup and give Broberg a good shot here in game 2.
And I mean, I think, you're totally right, Zach. I think there is a place for him in the game, especially the big men, the physical guys, but not if they can't move quite as well. And I think that there's going to be a target on him. When you see him, maybe you take advantage of him. He's a little bit of a lumbering guy. It takes a little while to get going. We saw it in that last series, that spin move right along the boards there, just past the blue line. I feel like that was a player saying, okay, big 73. Yeah, he's not going to keep up with me. And I wonder if the matchup is wrong, if players start to attack that and really go at him and see what they can do. You don't want to get too close, obviously, but if you go take him wide, I think you can kind of exploit that and then that could happen. And, maybe it's more so, Todd McClellan, Dave Manson have to find a way to use the matchups on home ice, but we shall see. They certainly haven't given up on him yet. Minutes dropped tonight and Philip Broberg got out there. Did you like Broberg's play tonight in the time you saw him, Zach?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was pretty quiet out there on the ice, and I think that's a good thing, right? I think he's a guy who kind of feels a little bit better, a little more confident out there, the more that he plays. He played 9-19. The Oilers, controlled 57% of the shot attempt share with him on the ice, which is a good number. So I think, kind of goes to show that the puck was moving up the ice a little bit more often than not with Broberg out there, and that's exactly what you want from him.
We'll just wrap up with a couple messages here. Ethan says Broberg and Ekholm need to be together, in my humble opinion. 5-4 Oilers win on Saturday is my bet. Flip the tables on them. Yeah, that'd be a stressful one. I'm sure it'd make for a fun Oilers Nation After Dark presented by Boston Pizza on Saturday. A nice earlier one. Ravina says, night everyone, go Oilers. See ya. Ravina, thanks for tuning in tonight. Trashman says Vinny needs to stick with his bread and butter. Ryan says Costin hitting the knob of his stick is unlucky. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. McLeod was rough on goal 4. Yeah, I think that was the deflection where he probably could have bodied the man in front there. But it didn't happen.
That goal Vegas got where they tipped it in, like, we didn't see that once from the Oilers. They felt like they weren't really threatening Brossoit at all whenever they got chances, like outside of Draisaitl, honestly. Like, was there really, like, I guess the Klim Kostin one, but there wasn't any other chances that were like, oh, like, what a great save by Brossoit, where you think of the Skinner attempts, like people were talking about not being in the lineup, but he had that massive save where they left him literally 2-0. And I think he had that one right at the end too. Was it on Marsh or so? And there was another one in there. I know he let kind of a shitty one in too to make it 5-3 or whatever it was at the time. But he also bailed the team out quite consistently throughout the game too. So the Oilers just got to make life way more difficult on Laurent Brossoit, because when they actually did that, like the Draisaitl, I guess they were all Draisaitl goals, but Draisaitl's third goal when Hyman was in front, he made it a little bit difficult, and he kind of lost composure on it a little bit, right? Brossoit's not a fantastic goalie. He's a good NHL goaltender, don't get me wrong, but he's very beatable, and he is not better than Jonas Korpisalo.
100%. I think that's a good way to end. And yeah, the Oilers certainly need to find a way to exploit that. Okay, before we wrap up here, give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Cornerstone Insurance. Check them out, cornerstoneins.ca/nation, AMA Travel. If you're planning to go on a trip, certainly use AMA. They can help you out with a lot of things, cruises, hotels, insurance, all that sort of thing. I was there actually on the weekend. Very efficient down at AMA. Nation Gear, the 2023 playoff shirt is available. I have it for you right here. If you want to grab one of these bad boys, you can go to nationgear.ca. $35. They also went in black with the blue font. Many other great items and apparel at nationgear.ca. Greta, if you want to go watch the game with some like-minded folk, head over to Greta. You can make your reservation now, gretabar.com/book, or text 587-418-8507. They'll also have a pop-up shop there if you want to get some Oilers Nation gear. Noodle, grab some noodles tomorrow. Pick up an Oilers Nation sticker. And, of course, our title sponsor, Boston Pizza. Shout out to the fine folks at Boston Pizza all across the city in this great country. Or if you are the Ice District location, Costin Pizza. After Oilers Nation, 5,000 likes on their tweet, and they officially changed their name for the playoffs to Costin Pizza. Is that what that was?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it took us, what was it, Liam? Only I don't know, an hour, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
That was
it
was an easy one. That was well done by you guys. So Costin Pizza as well. They've got the Fanalytics playoff menu, so check that out. Unbelievable stuff right there. The garlic parmesan fries, that's another one I want to try. So check out Boston Pizza, grab some of their food, go watch their locations if you want to do that as well. Also, Wilhauk Beef Jerky, Alberta's best beef jerky. They'll take orders of any size. Only the finest tasting meats will earn the Wilhauk name. Find out more at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Guys, good show. We've been a little bit long tonight, but that is okay. I think if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to Oilers Nation content across all the social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, OilersNation.com. All the good stuff. Check it out. I know Zach does great work pumping up the articles. You can catch Liam on Oilers Nation every day. Are they going to go live from Vegas tomorrow, Liam?
We are live from Vegas tomorrow, and I won't be, but I think Sean Bell's on the show too. So be me, Sean Bell, Bag Milk, Jay, and Tyler. So it will be a loaded show tomorrow.
Great stuff coming in. That's awesome. You guys now have Sean Bell on after every game. A guy who played the NHL professionally all over the world, can lend some great insight on Oilers Nation every day. Tomorrow, noon. Catch that one across all these great streaming platforms. Okay, I rambled long enough. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it. Oilers lose 6-4. We'll be back on Saturday. It's a 5 o'clock start, so we'll be on around 7:30, 7:40, give or take. Hopefully, we'll see you all then. For Zach Lang, Liam Horrobin, and myself, Connor Halley, we'll talk to you guys then.